Hi everyone, Sajid Amit here, and welcome to a review that I'm very excited to bring you because this is one I am from a brand that I've loved before most of you. Before most of you, I think, came across FlipEars. I've been talking about FlipEars, I've been hyping FlipEars, and I finally am very, very satisfied that this I am has caught people's attention. It's caught people's attention because it's obviously phenomenally crafted, and you'll see what it looks like in a second. It sounds phenomenal. There are very few bass head audiophile IMs at this price point. And what it does is not just limited to its price point because it's offering in terms of its bass, the tactility, the impact, and how the shells vibrate. The fabulousness of the BCD implementation here is something that competes with IMs far above its price point. I've not heard BCD like this in Empire Ears or Unique Melody, or for that matter, any BCD type IMs, guys. This is just phenomenal. The unboxing is what it is. It's actually pretty nice. I'll have to take this out. So this is a standard leather case you get with most of the FlipEars IMs. And once you unzip it, you're greeted to this, which looks awesome, right? The cable is a very high quality. The IM shells are crafted like you would not believe. The level of detail here is just phenomenal. And from what I understand, so see, guys, FlipEars is still a boutique brand. They're based out of Manila, the Philippines, which is an amazing country, hospital people, lovely islands, and lovely music scene. And initially, FlipEars, which is run by Aries, who's sort of like the Zach Meherback of the IM world because he's so awesome and funny and pleasant and just so nice and polite. I've met his wife. She's equally nice and polite and just so wonderful to talk to. So the Philippines has a vibrant music scene, and these guys have already partnered with several well-known artists and singers and have become a force to be reckoned with in the audiophile scene in the Philippines and the music scene, right? So I have tried their all-BA models, their super flagship Ether and Arta, the hybrid flagship the Aurora XX1V, and each of these IMs were exceptional, in different ways, but this is something special because this is actually very competitively priced. I'm yet to hear the Aegis model, which I hope to. In any case, guys, this is $850-ish. And in terms of specification, this has one dynamic driver, one EST, and one BCD. So it's a tribrid IM. The sensitivity is 104 decibels at 1 milliwatt. The impedance is 5.3 ohms. It's super easy to drive. Unboxing, as pretty evident, is pretty cool. You get these tips. You get this high-quality cable. You get these high-quality shells, high-quality aesthetics. You also get this layer that came, and it's very beautifully traditionally styled in terms of its, being sealed with it. And I haven't opened it yet. Now, I do want to talk about the faceplates because everyone on the planet is talking about the faceplates. These are brass faceplates, guys. And I do want to mention these are Baroque ear tips, which can be somewhat expensive. So, they haven't, cheapened out or on anything. The brass faceplates are individually handcrafted, which is just so amazing, by jewelers from Bulacan, which is a province in the Philippines. So, guys, the reason I know these guys is that when my work took me to Manila, and that's when someone said, "Hey, you should try out some of the local stuff," which is when I did, and I was just blown away. So the earpieces are made of high quality resin, in terms of the rest of it, and like I said, handcrafted. You can see the recognizable helmet of ancient Roman warriors, and they're surrounded by olive laurels. And this is actually more intricate and stunning in person, guys. So that has to be said. It's just beautiful. Okay, I do want to talk about sonic performance, right? So in terms of sound, so this is a unique tribrid configuration, and each custom driver has a distinct contribution to the audible frequency. Now, like I said, this is the best BCD implementation I've encountered for under $2,000, surpassing all Unique Melody meshed variants, the Kinera Verdandi, and even the Empire Ears Legion Evo, which I thought was a bit too... the Evo doesn't do what this does in terms of the tactility of the bass. It is a very novel experience. They call it the earthquake or earquake. I'm sorry. They call it the earquake bone conduction driver. These deliver substantial impacts. They add significant physicality and the body to the bass that's already produced by the Legion dynamic driver, which also effectively handles the mid-range. Okay, so a lot of you are wondering, okay, is this a bass first IM or a bass focused IM? This is actually a bass first IM, not a bass focused IM. And what I mean to say when I make this distinction is that it has an equally strong emphasis on the mid-range and the right amount of emphasis on the treble. See, I am a bass head audiophile. Like, one of my favorite headphones is the Abyss AB1266 5TC. So that would give you a sense. I like rock and metal. And rock and metal for me need to come alive. Bass needs to be punchy, tactile. I need to hear reverb. I need to hear decay of the bass notes. It has to be visceral, deep, and fun. And so this does all of that. If you listen to bass guitar slaps and taps, the way this does this, it will make you feel like you're an ant walking along the fretboard of a bass guitar. It is so lifelike. It is so intimate in its bass presentation. It's not just a mindless boom fest. It is a continuous stream of authentic, tactile, low-end enjoyment. Now, I do want to talk about the mid-range, guys, because the mid-range here feels incredibly alive and authentic. Vocals in particular sound very natural and smooth. They have body, they have weight. It reminds me of a cross between the Susvara and the LCD4 because it has more warmth and body than a Susvara, but it's not as dark as an LCD4 because this has pin again. And the vocals do sound intimate enough for me. As a matter of fact, even female vocals, right, which are supposed to be tokening the higher upper mids or lower treble, also sound very good. And you get a touch of air and clarity as well to the upper treble. And this balance is not easy, but the Legion nails it. Pianos sound incredible. You get this richness. Guitars sound exquisite in the textural detail. A lot of this richness, I feel like, stems from this exceptional integration of the bone conduction driver, which adds this subtle yet impactful weight to mid-range frequencies to the low end. And this blend just makes vocals and mid-range instruments feel alive, fuller, grounded. See, even when certain tracks that are very badly mastered and they have like sharp edges and lesser IMs can sound bright and fatiguing, this does not. This is always lush, clean, and engaging. So that's it for in terms of tonality, guys. I do want to talk about the treble, that the treble is not dead. I don't tend to favor a bright analytical sound, but this does have extraordinary treble in that it just balances the bass and the mid-range for airiness and sparkle, right? And it does it so well that you do get a sense of the spaciousness of the live performance. If people are clapping in the live performance, you hear that very, very well. And it just sounds great in terms of string plugs, hi-hats, cymbals. Very realistic. It never sounds splashy, which is a great thing. The treble is not held back. It's just not the dominant factor. Okay, now I do want to talk about the technical performance. So the technical performance, the most impressive thing for me was this soundscape. The soundstage here is cavernous, it's deep, it's wide, images are tall, and I'm very impressed with how it does that without losing intimacy. So songs that token for intimate presentations, like a lot of Norah Jones tracks tend to, they sound very intimate. And then if you want to play tracks that are meant to sound more grandiose, like the Metallica S&M album, which has a lot of orchestra and a largeness of the soundstage, this does that so well. Imaging is precise. Nothing lacking, even if you compare this with the higher end IM. The dynamics, like I said, are out of the world. The dynamics are exactly what you buy this for. It's not boomy or messy, but impactful. Timbre is another area where I think this is something that nails timbre. It's just timbre done right. It's just so rich, woody, and organic. Okay, guys, there aren't a lot of IMs that I would compare this with and say this is, something else is better, because I have a feeling this is perhaps as good as it gets for the price. I honestly don't know what IM would be better than this at this price point of around $800 to $900. So if you look at, let's say, the Sennheiser IE900, which is of course more expensive, the IE900 can be had for 1,200, and if you buy it used, maybe for 900. The IE900 doesn't really hold a candle to this because although that's a bassy, impactful IM, it doesn't have the bass, the mid bass to sub bass balance. So the i900 ends up sounding a bit thinner in the bass, a bit one-notey in the bass, and also a bit bright and overly V-shaped, and the mid-range can sound recessed. If you move on to the i600, which also does bass really well and is a fairly impactful IM, and the i600 is of course closer to the price point of this, the 600 again doesn't really do it for me because the 600 is something that they try to, add a little more mid-range heft, mid-range forwardness rather, and try to sort of adhere to the i900 tuning. The 600 wasn't really something that I jived with. There's of course Unique Melody meshed versions. I haven't tried the latest jet black version, but I've tried the MK2, the MK3. I thought all of these IMs for Unique Melody were pretty decent and had good BCD, but this takes it to a different level. Yeah, and then of course you have the Helios, the Singaporean brands from Symphonium, and their V-shaped tunings and superb clarity and great resolution and soundstage. And those I think are on equal level as this, but what this does for bass and vocal and mid-range richness is really incomparable. So, I mean, that's basically it, guys. You do want to try out its higher-end offerings from FlipEars, like the Arta, which is an exceptional IM for soundstage, for resolution, for tonality. You also want to try the Aurora. So those are the high-end offerings from FlipEars. And like I said, I'll drop reviews, or I'll drop links to my previous reviews of the other FlipEars products. But this is a home run. Like, this is as good as it gets at this price point. And guys, I couldn't be happier with this. I'm not collecting IMs anymore. I'm not hoarding IMs anymore. But I'm still reviewing IMs because I do like to sort of experience the latest flavor and the most hyped product. This is certainly a very hyped product, and a lot of people have come back from different can jams and said this is the best IM they've heard across price points. Last but not the least, a big shout out to you, my friend Aries of FlipEars, and he's humble, intelligent, and extremely friendly. And just seeing how he's attended, at least a few can jams now, and finally he's become someone people are going up to and congratulating and giving their money to for his hard work. He's been in this game for over a decade. Makes me very happy. Makes me think that nice guys do finish first sometimes, because Aries is a really nice guy. Shout out to you, man. This is an amazing IM, and I wish you and FlipEars very well, and I hope you get to hear this because this is an amazing IM, especially if you like bass and mid-range. Sajid Ami signing out, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye-bye.